What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York in the St. Vitus basement for 15 years of metal injection, and we are here with Steve of Mutoid Man. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, Alex, thank you.
Yeah, it's so awesome to have you here. First question is always first. Now that Hormones, your latest record, is hitting the 2-year-old mark, can we be expecting some new Mutoid Man soon?
Mutoid Man's written a bunch of new stuff for another record. As some of you probably know, like all of our bands in that world we're pretty incestuous, so scheduling can be kind of tricky. We just need to kind of figure out a point in the calendar where we can all come together and make that stuff really come alive.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought that Mutoid Man's music is very experimental. Like on the last record, I thought when you compare a song like Melt Your Mind to a song like Bandages, very different vibes, very different sounds. So it's fair to say Mutoid Man has never been afraid to try new things, right?
Well, within a certain realm, we try to keep it fun, light, exciting, brief. There's definitely like an ADD kind of trajectory to structuring some of these songs, especially Ben Kohler. He's got a great suck filter. He just knows when to cut out certain things, and I think we still find ways to experiment around those barriers, so to speak. But yeah, like stuff on Hormones you probably wouldn't have heard on Helium Head, and vice versa. So it's kind of interesting to see how the band navigates time these days,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, as a lot of people know, you are a very prolific artist, playing with Converge and time with Cave In and all that stuff. And, with Mutoid Man, is it a different mind frame in every project, or is there kind of like a usual method behind the madness in all the projects that kind of applies to all of it?
Well, I bring the same brain to every band I play in. I have only got one. If I could swap it out, I would. But yeah, it's more about the chemistry that happens when you're in a room with this set of people versus that set of people. And I really love that element of making music. I try to just keep a very open mind about what's going to happen. And I learned something years ago. Basically, there was this test that was done about people graduating school and how that sort of plays into success rates. And they found that just simply showing up, it sort of guarantees you a B-, right? Just for showing up somewhere. You get like an 80%,
Which is my high school average.
That's great. So you showed up. Yeah. So I try to keep that in mind. It's like if I'm not sure of how a situation's going to go, or I might be nervous, or, just being somewhere really is a lot of, if not most of the work.
There you go. And the final question I'd like to ask you is, as somebody who has seen Mutoid Man live easily 11 times at this point, and, even watching you play with 2 Minutes to Late Night, which was always fun, I always thought watching you perform is very different from just listening to you through a pair of headphones. For you, how different of an energy do you channel into playing live versus the creative process?
Well, these days I try to recognize that the reason I'm on a stage and that I'm able to do what I'm able to do is because of the people that are there. And, you have to look out and you have to engage. You should make eye contact. You should just take it all in. It's really important. And sometimes I'm not always able to do that, but most of the time I really try to just be conscious of that sort of thing, which is obviously very different from when you're hiding away in your rehearsal space or your room or whatever it is, wherever you like to work, and you're just sort of imagining those scenarios. So I always have the people in mind.
Yeah. And I'd imagine, working with so many bands or working with so many great people, it has to inspire you to come up with new stuff constantly.
Yeah, I'm always writing. It's like a nervous habit or a nervous tick, or I'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody and I'll just blank out because lightning will strike my brain and I'm like, I got to remember that. Oh, that's a cool rhyme, or, oh, that explains life in a way that I'd like to convey in a song. So, you just have to be kind of open to when that channel chooses you, and then that's your muse, that's your gift. So Yeah, I just that's work for me. That's the work that I love to do, to be attentive to that sort of thing.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you jam for the Metal Injection live set. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it should be fun. So let's have a good night.
Playing some Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm very stoked. I blew it, though. I didn't bring my fishnets. I'm hoping that maybe I can find some in the next 30 minutes. Or maybe some videotape to wrap myself up and suspend myself from the ceiling. You know,
I mean,
really get into it.
you're in the basement at St. Vitus. You'll find something down here, no problem.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Can't promise it's sanitary. We'll see. Again, Steve, thank you. Everybody, Steve Brodsky of Mutoid Man. Pick up Warmones if you haven't already, and congrats to Frank and Rob for 15 years of Metal Injection. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York.